What's kind of your reaction as someone in law enforcement? Do you feel like this is something that's you've seen before? Is this kind of like a typical profile of someone who would do something like this? What was your reaction to finding out more about the shooter?
It's a great question, right? And there's so many answers, really. So let's just go to grassroots here for a moment. One of the things I talk about often, I've had this conversation on so many different shows. I've had this conversation, offline with guys like Dave Rubin, Buck Sexton, and so many others. And it's that I don't ever expect in this country to see another 9/11 because we've gotten pretty good at interdicting that. But what happened to Charlie, these are the ones that worry me. The one-off lone wolf who radicalizes, whether it be into leftism, into radical Islam, whatever the radicalization may be, because what they do doesn't require a lot of planning, Danielle. Okay, yes, he was on Discord message boards, and maybe there should have been a better monitoring of those boards, of these people, these in this case, radical leftists who were discussing violence. But all that stuff really is still First Amendment protected, right? You can go outside and say, my God, I'm so angry, I want to kill somebody. And really the police aren't going to come and lock you up for it. So at which point do we start saying, okay, this isn't just some lunatic ranting. This is now a legitimate threat. And so law enforcement is really going to have to, and I hope this case is really a defining moment for law enforcement where they take a long, hard look with their legal bureaus, their legal departments, whatever they're called in that agency, and they start to set protocols and policies as to where free speech ends. Now it's a legitimate threat and it needs to be monitored. I'm not saying go kick indoors, but at least keep tabs on these people. And so that's my first thought. From what we know, does he fit the profile of somebody who would do this? Well, now, yeah, in retrospect, right, hindsight always being 2020, certainly. He checked all the boxes of somebody who could radicalize and do this. That the shot, people saying it was a professional shooter. I never bought into that. I put out a couple of posts saying this is somebody who understood firearms, but I'm a shooter. I collect firearms. When people hunt out west, they were in Utah. 300 yards is a pretty routine shot. These are big, vast areas of land when they shoot game out there. And so 200 yards from an elevated position with a 30-06 scoped is a pretty common and relatively easy shot for anybody who grew up hunting and using firearms. And so I wasn't convinced of a professional assassin. I really do think, and I'll get flamed by so many conspiracy theorists on social media, but I do think the official narrative on this guy is the right one. I've got some friends in the U.S. Marshals Service, and they were actually the entity when his dad brought him to the police station to turn him in, or the sheriff's office. I'm not clear which it was. It was actually the U.S. Marshals, because they handle fugitives, who took possession of him and then brought him to the FBI for questioning. And one of my friends in the Marshals, I was talking to him yesterday, and he's pretty convinced. He's one of us politically. He's not a deep state guy who's toes the line. But he feels that the official narrative right now is what it is, that what we're hearing about this guy, his family. I mean, his dad deserves a medal, and somebody yesterday, I forget who posted it out on X, but they said, I mean, not only did this guy kill Charlie Kirk, but look at what he did to his family. He made his dad, a 27-year law enforcement veteran, turn his son in on a death penalty offense. I mean, what kind of demon would do that, not only to a 31-year-old husband and dad, murdering him in cold blood, but to their own family, making his career law enforcement father turn him in and potentially send him to his death at the hands of the state. So this is a terrible, evil guy. I fear there are a lot more of them out there. But yeah, I think in terms of profile, from what we know, he certainly fit it.